What's up, guys, and welcome to the Shifty Crab podcast. I'm your host today. I am Adam, and I am joined by the best beard in the business, Mr. Vince Haley. How you doing, Vince?
Doing well, Adam. It's another podcast day. Let's go.
The best day of the week. Also joining us today is the pun master general himself, Mr. Terry Jeffs.
Oh, guys, good to be here. Good to be here on podcast night.
It's the best night. How are you doing, Terry? You all right?
I'm good. I've got my bourbon, got my Coke. I'm ready to roll. I'm excited for this.
There ain't no party like a Thursday party. That's what I like to say.
Sure ain't.
What a week.
Plus, you're on some muscle relaxers, so you can't have alcohol, so that's fun.
Oh, no.
You're kind of having your own little party, you know, with the muscle relaxers.
Oh, no. They knocked me out almost immediately. It's awful.
Are you just going to start melting in your chair?
Oh, no. I took a half one like 3 hours ago, so I'm good.
He's just going to be drooling. By the end of this podcast, he's just going to be down here, like, sinking down in his seat.
No lie. I took half of one like Sunday before we record the news. Spoiler alert, news is pre-recorded. And I was playing video games, but I was falling asleep while playing. It was awful.
Oh, that's just like, that becomes normal when you're a parent. Don't worry about that. I mean, when I don't fall asleep playing a game, that's like, wow, that was good night. That was a good night.
10 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how you review your games. Did I fall asleep while I was playing?
I remember the first time that started happening with me was when I was playing Uncharted 4 when it first came out. Like, it just come out, and I think it must have been our firstborn, like Harry, maybe when he was born, and I was playing it. I was so tired every evening. I was just trying to get in 20 minutes or something, you know, just like to try and cling on to some kind of like normality to what I had before. And like headphones on, like 10 minutes in, just like, oh, God, this is what it's become now. This is it. And that's where my backlog began.
That was the day.
Well,
yeah, I guess we should start as we always start when you're speaking of backlogs and falling asleep while you're playing. Let's find out what we've been playing. And we're going to go to you first, Terry, like with your backlog of games. What have you been playing?
Yeah, okay. So last week, I was discussing, obviously, Demon Souls. I was playing a lot of Demon Souls, but I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. We had spoke about it in the news, and we were speaking about it on the previous episode of the news, but my dual sense on the PlayStation 5 is taking a turn for the worse, so to speak. So it's the haptic feedback on the R2 trigger has lost all its resistance, which I had noticed for a while now, but hadn't proved too much of a problem playing, playing Bugsnax and playing Astrobot and stuff like that. But Demon Souls, however, it's started a bit of a problem for me because it's so sensitive that my finger only has to touch the R2 button slightly, and I start doing a thrust kind of piercing attack, which is a real problem when you're playing a game like Dark Souls, like Demon Souls. You can't make a mistake like that, and I could certainly just kill a really rare vendor at any time doing this. So it's got to the point where it's just become unplayable. So I've looked into it, and looks like I'm going to have to send it back to Sony, which do replace them, repair them at least, and send it back. But that's caused the whole thing. So that's made me put Demon Souls on the back burner for a while. So I thought, well, what can I play? Because I've got to prepare for if I have to send my DualSense off on this little journey. What can I be playing in the meantime? So as you mentioned, Adam, I've got a tremendous backlog of games dating way back, like AAA games dating back from as far back as 2017. So I have started a AAA game from 2017 that I haven't played before. And I have started Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh, good choice of a game to play.
So yes, so Horizon Zero Dawn. So have you guys both played it through? Yeah. So yeah, James, if you're watching, my brother-in-law, I finally started it. It's been going on at me forever to get on this game. And obviously I've always was excited for Horizon. I played it like before it was released at EGX back in 2016 or whenever it was. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Guerrilla Games and played all the Killzone, the mainline games. And so, yeah, I mean, loved what they were doing with this, completely changing in genre. So yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm kind of glad that I've left some of these games to play now because, as I said before, I've got my 4K TV now, I've got the PlayStation 5, I'm playing them at their full potential. And this game in 4K is absolutely gorgeous. It's still, I think it's 30 frames per second, so it hasn't had this 60 frames per second update. But to be honest with you, it's not made that much of a difference to me. I mean, the 4K, the colors, obviously the colors of this world, they're just like vibrant, fantastic. Like draw distance is amazing, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, just wanted to say, yeah, a few things. Like I came off the back of playing Rise of the Tomb Raider last year, and I was really surprised by how similar it is to the modern Tomb Raider trilogy. Just the way that Aloy like controls, obviously the bow and arrow, the platforming. It literally just feels like I'm playing another Tomb Raider, bar some robot dinosaurs. But yeah, I love the way that the design of the dinosaurs. I've only seen a few different ones so far because I'm quite early on into the game, like a couple of hours in, like 3 hours in. But I love the design of them. I know very little about this game, by the way. I don't know any major spoilers. I think I may know one. I don't want to say it now, but I think I may know something that was kind of brought up before. But I'm liking the mystery that's surrounding it, of the world and the technology. I'm liking the storyline of Aloy, which is very reminiscent of Rey in the new Star Wars trilogy, and like wanting to know where she came from, her parents, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying it so far. I knew I would. This is the thing with these backlog of games. These are not games I thought, oh, why have I only just got in? These are games that I knew that are been there in this pile. I've been waiting to play forever. I can't wait to get on it. But I've got some weird OCD in my head in the order of these games I want to play. And yeah, that's brought me to Horizon. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. And I'm going to stick with it and just crack on for it to the end. And so yeah, what were your thoughts on it without obviously going into any spoilers?
Yeah, go on, Vince. You can go first.
I thought it was really good. I mean, it's been a while since I played it. I probably did play it maybe 2017, 2018, so I'm a few years removed from it. But what I remember from it was like the hunting in that game was just incredibly fun. And plus the upgrades you get for like killing the robot dinosaurs and everything. That was actually fun rather than other games of the like where you're kind of like collecting and hunting resources, where it's just kind of go to this one area where these general animals are and hunt and forage for those things. But I think the uniqueness of Horizon's, I guess, enemy design and the design for the robot dinosaurs actually kept me compelled to see like what else was out there.
Yeah.
And plus the actual like climbing the giant ones was so fun.
Yeah, I've just come up to them now. The big, I don't know what they're called,
ones.
but yeah, but I've just got to those. But yeah, you mentioned the hunting as well. Like I've only got a few. I'm only got a few of the weapons so far, but I'm liking already the way of mixing up the traps and the different arrows to take down the different herds of enemies, but and kind of wading around in the grass and trying to avoid like the vision of their lights, and when their lights change when they're kind of scanning and searching the area. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the game. Besides, like, I mean, there was one moment I remember specifically where I was tracking a herd, and then one of the giant ones came and like almost kicked my ass. Like,
yeah, when they start running for you, you're just like, like, and you're just on the run. I like that though. I like when the music amps up and you kind of like rotate the camera around as they're like chasing after you, dodging out the way, trying to get that perfect shot, slowing down time. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, fun.
Yeah, I think for me, is the story is really well written, and I think it's really well paced. I really liked it. The motion capture and the voice acting is really strong, I think, throughout. And I think that's the thing, that the takeaway for me. I think the gameplay, as good as it wasn't mesmerizingly good. It was just solid, which isn't a negative at all.
Yeah.
At no point was I thinking, oh, if only this was better. I was just like, yeah, this is fine. This is good. but the story was what kept me going. I thought it was fantastic. Like, I thought it was a really good story. So a very good choice of what you should be playing.
Absolutely, enjoying it.
Fantastic game.
I'm sure I have a lot more to say about it next week when I've poured a lot more hours into it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Vince, what have you been playing?
I have played 2 different things this week. One I jumped into, and that was Destiny 2, because on Game Pass, Destiny 2 plus all its DLC is free. Yeah. And I didn't get a chance to play Forsaken, Beyond Light, and the other one. Which one was it? I can't remember. I downloaded and have completely forgotten about it. So I loaded it up, had all the DLCs installed, and it jumps you right into Beyond Light, which is the latest one. And immediately they drop a spoiler for the previous DLC, which is who Cayde 6's killer is. Having not played that DLC yet, I was like, well, kind of pointless. But I still want to go back, and once you finish that first mission, you can go anywhere else. Shadowkeep, that was the other one. No, was it Shadowkeep?
I think Shadowkeep.
Forsaken, Shadowkeep, then Beyond Light. Yeah. So I went back into Forsaken, which is the one where Cayde 6 dies. That first level was absolutely incredible. Like, because Cayde 6, voiced by Nathan Fillion of Firefly fame and a bunch of other stuff he's done. He just brought that personality to the character, and it was amazing because you're kind of fighting alongside him. He's throwing off these quippy one-liners. It was fantastic. That level ends with him dying, and then you jump into a really dramatic cutscene of the other guardians at his funeral saying they want revenge and they can't take revenge and blah, blah, blah. So your character actually speaks for the first time, which is amazing. And I'm playing a human male. So it's Matthew Mercer. I don't know if you guys know Matthew Mercer as a voice actor.
I love Matthew. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is he from?
Critical Role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's a DM for Critical Role, as well as doing a million other voice acting gigs. But that's his main focus.
Which was like a holy shit moment, because throughout the entire story of base Destiny 2, your character did not talk at all. Same with Destiny 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited. This DLC obviously has me. It's grabbed me. I played through that second mission, which is basically go back to this place, find this new enemy type that has been unleashed due to the events of the first mission. Finish that, and then Destiny 2 loses me because it does the thing Destiny 2 does best to keep you invested. It gives you a mission to talk to a character who knows the location of the guy who killed Cayde. But you have to do 5 bounties for him. And bounties are kind of like these little random tasks where you go out in the world, you like say kill 35 of a type of enemy, or go to a location and find an object or something and complete the bounty. But you can only collect 4 bounties from him at a time. And you need 5 in order to talk to him. Worst part is these are timed. So I assume they reset when the game resets. Yeah. So usually you have like a week. The time remaining on the bounties I picked up was 1 day and 30 minutes, something like that. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing that. I'm done. Yeah. So I pieced out of Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But the main game I sunk my teeth into that I actually got over Christmas break is Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that in ages. Like,
I know. I played it when it first came out. Loved it. It's probably one of my favorite like fantasy RPGs out there. And starting up Re-Reckoning is, it's almost like a blast from the past. Like, it's everything I remember about that game, but fantastic.
That was 2012, wasn't it? Sorry, 2012?
2012.
Something like that. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
It was a long time ago. But it was picked up by THQ Nordic, I guess now Embracer Group. I guess that's what they rebranded themselves as.
Yeah.
They picked it up from EA, who originally published it. But I mean, it's fantastic. The gameplay is not your typical RPG. It's more of kind of a hack and slash mixed with an RPG. So you still have like the dialogue choices of a standard RPG, but the combat is that like press X or press Y combo moves and everything like that.
So is it similar to like Dragon Age 2, like that kind of thing? I don't know if you played Dragon Age, like, because I really enjoyed the original Dragon Age, which played more like a kind of Baldur's Gate kind of strategy, like RPG. But Dragon Age 2 went down more of that route, whereas an RPG still had the dialogue choices, but it was more like just a hack and slash, like combat.
Yeah, it probably is more similar to that. I haven't played Dragon Age 2 in forever. Even then, I only played maybe like an hour of it, probably, because Dragon Age kind of wasn't my thing. I was more of a Mass Effect fan from BioWare. But one of the cool things they did, speaking of BioWare, is if you had either a Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3 save file, you got Shepard's armor in the game as free DLC. And then with the Re-Reckoning edition, they brought all the DLC over, so that's included in the game.
Oh, okay.
Plus a bunch of other like free overpowered weapons you can get right at the beginning of the game.
Right.
Which makes it kind of like going into encounters easy, but there's still a little bit of challenge to it. It's fun. Like,
yeah,
it's your own kind of personal type of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I've had a weird one this week. I've 2 games. One of them I spent 22 minutes playing. And the other one I've sunk a few hours into. The 22-minute game was after our news the other day, Vince, is Anthem.
Ooh.
I thought I'd give it another go. And I realized I don't like Anthem. And I realized why I didn't play it in the first place. Like, it is not my cup of tea.
That makes sense.
It handles well, but I found it quite mundane. I was just like, no, I'm out. The other game, I'm going to test you to see if you can work out what this game is. I'll give you a few hints.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
This game was originally released. I'm not sure when. One sec. Well, I'll tell you who it was published by. It was developed by United Front Games, but it was published by Square Enix, if you want to call it that way.
What
it was originally released for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and Windows. I'm trying to see the date that it was released. 1 second. And it was released in 2012.
2012.
Ooh,
okay.
2012.
I'll give you another clue. This makes it a bit easier. It was announced as part of the 2009 True Crime series, but was cancelled by Activision Blizzard in 2011.
That does not help at all.
Is it? Is it like? I was going to say like Kane and Lynch, but that's way off, isn't it?
No.
In terms of,
it's set in Hong Kong.
Oh, Sleeping Dogs. No,
Sleeping Dogs.
I always get confused between Sleeping Dogs and True Crime, obviously because it was originally that. But yeah.
Sleeping Dogs. There's a reason that I was playing it, which I won't go into right now. You may know about it later down the line, but I forgot how fun that game was. I was playing the definitive edition, so it was re-released for the PlayStation 4, and I think it was released for Xbox One as well. A lot of fun. It's showing its age, of course, but it's a unique take on an open world. It has that blend of over the top fun. There's a lot of parkour in it, and there'll be like moments when people have got guns and they'll just drop their guns and decide to have a fist fight, and it's very over the top, but it's great fun. There's some really good mechanics in there, balancing, because if you don't know the game, you're an undercover cop, undercover detective, so you've got to work both sides, and you can kind of choose kind of which way you go a little bit. Help more the criminal side. I think you're undercovering the Yakuza, or you can obviously be more law-abiding, but there's risks to both sides. Really good game. It came with 3 expansion packs, but they're all included in the definitive edition, and which was like had new missions, some add-ons. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So that's what I've been playing.
Guys, I've never played Sleeping Dogs. I have officially been sleeping on Sleeping Dogs.
On Sleeping Dogs, you should give it a go. Do you know what? It's a lot of fun to play, and
I've heard good things about it.
Story's pretty good as well. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been playing. But yeah, so it's been a decent week. To be honest, I've not been able to play too much. I've been hunting PlayStation 5s and which isn't going well. And yeah, just editing and making sure all the people get to see your beautiful faces. Like
of course, I did forget to mention. I did start. I mentioned before that I finished Spyro, the remake from the trilogy, and we started Spyro 2, playing that with my son Harry at the moment. And yeah, it's cool. Like again, first time playing through the Spyro trilogy, really enjoying it, and just more Spyro. It's all good stuff. So we're just kind of chipping away at that bit by bit. But I like those games because they're really like good collectathon games. You can see your percentage as you're working through it.
Yeah, I like
kind of just kind of go through it. It's nice and clean to like just kind of go and collect all the stuff and go for the platinums on those. It's really nice. But yeah, enjoying that.
In my growing up, when Spyro was first launched, it was too expensive for me to get. My grandma wouldn't buy me that one when I asked for it. Instead, she bought me Croc.
So, I remember Croc, yeah.
So, which was like the budget version of Spyro. No offense to Croc, but out of the two, I was just like,
yeah.
If I have the dragon that fly, no, okay, I'll stick with Croc.
Even Gex would have been a bit of an upgrade there,
Yeah, it would have been an upgrade. No, I was bottom of the barrel, like
Croc. Yeah, man, I remember Croc.
Wow.
Bless my grandma, she didn't really understand computer games, and I really wanted Tomb Raider on the Sega Saturn. Really wanted Tomb Raider, and she went to the market to buy Tomb Raider. Like we had an indoor market that had actual shops in it. It's called the market, but
yeah.
And then ended up buying a copy of Tomb Raider, like a copied on a disc version of Tomb Raider,
brilliant.
Which was just a CD that someone wrote Tomb Raider on and put in a case with a really bad printed out thing. And she brought it back going, this is for you. I think I was still at primary school. So I don't know, which is like, what school's that for in America? What's primary school in America?
Not
when you're like
elementary
school, yeah.
Elementary, yeah.
So yeah, I was still in elementary, so I shouldn't be playing it really anyway. But
did you put the disc in and it was Croc again?
Oh yeah, she just bought me the same game, going here it is, here's Tomb Raider. No, so that didn't go down well.
That would have been the perfect cap to the story, though.
No, yeah, and it was Croc again, and then this year I had to buy Croc again.
Croc 2. Was there a Croc 2? Did they ever get to that point? Oh, there was.
Wow. I think there was a Croc 2. Let me.
I've got to get you. You've just like I don't think I have Croc. I need to buy a Croc now.
Croc 2
get my PS1 collection.
Was there a Croc 3? There was
Croc. They couldn't have got away that far.
There was Croc 3D.
Okay.
The Legend of Gobos.
I'll tell you what was a good PS1 platformer. Pandemonium. Do you remember that?
I remember Pandemonium.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It was pretty cool. It was weird. It's like a weird platformer where you play these like jester characters.
Yeah.
Kind of had a Nights into Dreams kind of vibe to it, but it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, it came out on PlayStation, didn't it?
Yeah, PS1. It was like this was like early PS1 times, like when there wasn't like
1996.
Yeah, there wasn't much else to choose from in terms of like platformers and stuff. Like you had.
I did not know this was published by Crystal Dynamics.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did not know that.
Look at that.
Look, guys, you learn something new every day. Oh, you guys might not. I do. I learn something new every day.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics. They were even back then. They were like, I think that was around the Soul Reaver times.
Oh,
I mean, for me, like, Soul Reaver, when that was the big, like, that was the Crystal Dynamics game. I was like, whoa, these guys, okay, watch out for these guys.
Oh yeah, that was a good game. I had a really good idea, because we like to have a little bit of a debate on the podcast, and we're going to do our big debate later on and reveal the winners of the last debate.
We live for it.
But I thought what would be a really good way to get our whole audience to hate us, because that's what you want, really. That's when you know you're doing well, is to say our unpopular gaming opinions.
Okay.
So, like, we're going to go around and we're going to say something that we think you're in the minority in thinking when it comes to gaming. A certain game or gaming in general is up to you. Your unpopular gaming opinion. And I think we'll go to Vince first.
Have to start with me. You got to get the hate out early.
But do you know why I'm going to you first? Because I can go off what you choose to how hard I can go, or you're the barometer. Like, you're the bearded barometer on what I can do. So go on then. Okay. Hit me with your unpopular gaming opinion.
Unpopular gaming opinion. Mario is overrated.
Oh, come on, Vince.
Comes out swinging.
Let's be honest.
Jesus Christ.
Nintendo backed the wrong horse on that one. Let's be real. You want a really good Nintendo game? Play The Legend of Zelda. That's an actually fun series. Mario, I mean, we got his 20th anniversary, and even Nintendo didn't care. They put out shitty ports of 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, not even Galaxy 2, which people say is the good one, but let's be honest. Mario Odyssey, it's okay if you want that standard platformer.
It's okay.
That's
what you're giving Odyssey, okayness.
Odyssey was okay. It's a game I played for like 2 days and was like, okay, I'm done with this. Beat whatever the main story is in Odyssey. I don't care. And then just put it down. You know what I had a really good time with? Link's Awakening. That's an actually good game.
I can't argue with this, man. I can't argue with it.
It was gorgeous on the Switch. Even playing in handheld mode is really good. But I mean, come on. Mario's had its time. Time to put the little Italian to sleep. Time to put the little Italian to sleep. Quite literally. Let's just shove him down. He's the face of Nintendo, unfortunately. When there's so many other better games. Like, come on. When's the last time we had a Metroid?
I want to see some. Come on. Right? What's going on with Metroid?
Yeah, there are better games than Mario, but
there are.
I wouldn't say that Nintendo have kind of just left him for dead, like, because they've just spent $351 million US building Mario World.
Yeah. Exactly. Where's Zelda?
He's got the popularity.
He does.
Come on, though. You can't.
But he needs to stop.
You can't sit there and admit that the quality with Mario has never dropped. You got to give him that. Like, it's never dropped.
It's never aged well either. Unfortunately, I mean, if you go back and play that 64 remake.
Yeah, but you can play Mario Brothers 3 and Mario World now, and it's as good as any platformer.
They are simple games, but they are well done, and I think they built a massive brand off it. And I don't think they're the greatest games, not by a long way, but I think there's a lot worse. And
there is a lot worse.
But
put that polish towards other properties. You can't just ride the Mario Kart forever. Literally.
Your pick is actually really, really interesting. Terry was going to go next, but I'm going to have to jump in here, Terry. I apologize. Because mine, and things are made up on the internet, guys. Like, and everyone watching at home, sometimes things are pre-recorded, pre-planned, and I swear to you, this was not. We do not know each other's. My unpopular opinion is Zelda is a piece of trash of a game.
Wow. That's even worse.
I just don't like it. I don't like the story. I don't like Breath of the Wild. I think it is. I understand it as a game that it's okay, but I don't see why everyone is called it the second coming of the I don't understand the fanfare behind it. It is an okay game. All of them are okay games. None of them I'm compelled to finish. And I just think that everyone loves Zelda, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what this little Link people care about with his little sword and his little shield and his little hearts above his head, and he's smashing vases, and it's just for me, I think it's trash. But and I don't particularly like Mario, but Mario is 10 times better than Zelda.
Oh no, Terry, you want to tear him apart on this one?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm disappointed in both of you. Really, like it's like because they're both amazing franchises. First of all, yeah, I mean, okay, so last year, not the Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before, I got my oldest son Harry a Nintendo 3DS. It was a 2DS for his first console, because that was his 5th Christmas. So I thought, because I was thinking like what to get him, I was like contemplating on getting him a Switch, but at that point, because his brother's quite young, I thought that's a bit delicate, you know, you got to learn to look after that. It's going to break easy. So I thought, what could I go for? It's got to be a Nintendo console, kid-friendly games, stuff like that. So immediately I was thinking about what Mario games to get him, because the Mario games, they're like the perfection of game design, like the way that they control. They teach you how, like, they're just the perfect way that a level should be laid out. Where the enemies are laid out, a goal to the end of the level, the structure, the way that it handles, like it's just pixel perfect always, the way that Mario handles, the way he platforms and the way he jumps, like, and that is like a tutorial itself to like all platformers in general, but games going forward. Like, you know, most game developers learned from playing Mario when they were younger. I just don't think that you can, if Mario had gone the same way as Sonic, and like over time they just the quality just kind of dropped, absolutely. But I don't feel it ever has. Going from the original Mario Brothers to Odyssey, I feel like it's still up there, like in terms of quality. Yeah, it may be the same thing rehashed all the time, but you know, it's good. It's always for new generations. Zelda, come on, like Zelda's like it's there. I would put personally, my own personal, like I would put Zelda above it, just because it's just so iconic. The music, like the world, like you're mixing amazing puzzle solving with like just beautiful world design, and I don't know, I love the Zelda games. I haven't played all of them, but the ones that I have played, just absolutely love them. But I actually, that's one of my goals. I want to play through all of the Zelda games. I just want to play through them all because I love it. I love that world. Love the design of it.
Well, you make a good point. Like, I'm just saying, it's a bit trash. Like, maybe it's just not my thing. I just the story has never gripped me for Zelda. I don't think it's for me. I think Zelda, you had to get in early on and really be invested, because it kind of sticks to its roots quite a lot. There's veered off a few times, but I just can't get into it. Like, for me, it was a boring story, and the games were never much better for me. Hey, it's just an unpopular gaming opinion. I know I'm in the minority. That is fine. But Terry, let's hear yours.
This is so funny, right? Because this is going to sound like we're just bashing Nintendo for some reason.
Oh no!
And it's so as soon as Vince brought up about Mario, I just thought it's hilarious, because I don't want to be ganging up on the plumber here, because let me tell you, right? As you know, for whatever words you've got to say against Vince, you have to agree that the Mario music is some of the most iconic, catchy music in any media, you know? And the 16-bit versions of the Mario games, the music, again, is up there with the very, very best. My unpopular gaming opinion is the 16-bit Sonic games music were way better. Way better. So, and it doesn't get said enough. Mario World, all those games on the SNES, amazing music, but the music in the Sonic games are just unparalleled, particularly Sonic 2. Sonic 2 has one of the best soundtracks of all time. It's just absolutely amazing. I play it all the time. I just have it on in the background. It's iconic. And yeah, I don't care what anyone says. As good as the Mario music is, the Sonic music was better. Sorry.
Terry, I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the Sonic music is, especially like Sonic 2, like
Chemical Plant Zone,
oh,
Oil Ocean Zone. Come on.
Oh yeah, like Mario's music's good, but it's quite samey. Like, you know, like apart from a few standouts, it's not mind blowing. Like, whereas Sonic was pretty consistent, especially at that era. It's not stayed as strong going forward, but
no,
like, what do you think, Vince?
I mean, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Terry. I mean, Green Hill Zone is just a banger of a track anyway. Yeah. Like that's more iconic than just the standard Mario. Whatever it is. I already forgot it. I don't even know. I can't even replicate it. It's gone. But
like, don't get me wrong. The Mario themes are like made to go into your brain and they stay there. But I just feel like in terms of like composition and originality, I think the Sonic games, like I'm very particular here. I'm talking about the Mega Drive Genesis games were the peak of what they did, like with musically.
Yeah, I think they were really, really good. Like, well, they are unpopular gaming opinions. I think mine was very unpopular, but maybe I am in the minority on that one. Maybe I have to take a deep look in the mirror.
I think we just lost all our Nintendo fan listeners. Basically.
Yeah, they're all just unsubscribed, all unsubscribed. Here's the thing, guys. We're not talking about the elephant in the room. We can avoid it all you want, but just wait 1 second.
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, bloody! I didn't get one of those.
We're going again. He had that ready.
Oh, what is that?
Absolutely had
Have you just had that made? Oh, he's got more.
Sorry, what are we doing here?
Is that
I knew we would never hear the end of it, but I didn't think it would go this far.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a god, and what
is that cup you've got there?
Which one?
This one?
In
your left, yeah.
That is the Sports Hub E15 Football Champions of 2017.
Okay.
This is.
How do you have that?
Because I was the captain and we won the cup.
Okay.
Same with this, but this was a different year. This was 2019. Different team. So, and then this medal is for rowing a race down the River Thames and winning, doing a rowing race down the River Thames. So, but actually, what they're for is because I am a debating god. You came in, and this is the thing. If we just had a pleasant debate, shit on each other's ideas a bit, I wouldn't be saying this. But you both sat there and said, you are never going to win. What a boring answer. Oh, it's this.
No. Actually, I think you'll find it was the absolute opposite. I mean, it was like, he's playing to the masses here. He's jumping on the the game that's selling 140 million copies. He knows he can get a few votes out of those. So we knew what was going to happen. We knew the game you were playing.
Nah. And the best thing about all of this, Vince, you've obviously been working today, different time zone, blah, blah, blah. Harry put out on Twitter saying, please, guys, don't vote for this. Vote for BioShock. Vote for Rapture. All this. And we were at 50-50.
Yeah, it got close at one point. But I got to say
50-50. And then, bam, 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 bam.
I didn't see that it got to 50-50. Oh, damn it. BioShock fans, you let me down. I thought I was really kind of reaching out to a passionate fan base, and you guys didn't show up. Andrew Ryan would be disappointed. You're not allowed in. You're not allowed in Rapture.
He probably wouldn't be on Twitter. He'd be playing GTA.
It's just a shame, you know. It's what's happened.
My horn. Just drink for my Viking horn to celebrate my Viking victory.
It's a shame.
No, it was obvious I was going to win because it was the best answer. No surprise there. And I'm going to win again this week. Because
let me just say, he was obviously sweating for a bit because then he put out a post afterwards, like trying to get more people on board to vote.
I played it nice. I wasn't there going, oh, no. I said the original post, just like we all did, saying vote for mine, and I left it. There's me today, sat. I'm having some beans on toast with some cheese. I'm scrolling down and I go, what's this? Terry Jeff's writing. Oh, vote for Rapture. Oh, it's the only one who can win. Well, I thought, well, game on. So
you can't blame a guy for trying, all right?
But the thing that we're all missing out on here, and we're all avoiding the fact, and he's staying quiet in the background, is Mr. Vince Haley.
Wasn't even in the fight there, Vince. Come on.
Vince, I think you got 2 votes, and I think one of them was Vince. So wasn't his strongest round, but maybe he's going to come out swinging this week because you actually have the advantage. You had the advantage this week. Vince actually picked what the debate topic was this week, and he knows what everyone's picked. Yep. So I'm obviously ready to defend my crown. Now, do you know what? Terry won week 1. Fine, it's a warm up. You know, I had a hamstring injury. I wasn't warmed up. I had to stretch it out.
PS4. What was that?
Listen,
his best console.
Okay, I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. Because it suits me. I originally wanted the PS2, but Terry picked it first. So I actually have 100% record in these. I just didn't get to pick it the first week. So
hey, the only one because of the way I debated it, right? That's the way it works. Yeah. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter what your choice is. It just matters how you debate it. All right, you shut on the other person's choice and you big up yours, whatever it may be.
Exactly. But I'm ready to defend my crown. Like, I'm ready to go. Hopefully I'm not going first, but I'm ready to defend my crown. So remember, guys, when we do this debate, what you want to win, put it in the comments below, because we do add them to it as well. And we're going to get an overall victory, and it's obviously going to be me. Vince, do you want to tell people? I'm going to pander, like, to the masses, to the people that know the truth, to the people that trust my judgment. I'm not going to pander to you guys. You already have made your decision. So, Vince, tell them what it is.
This week, we are debating the topic of best film franchise. Now, a little caveat I'm throwing in there. You can't argue TV shows. It's film franchise.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fair.
Can we use TV shows in our argument for our own, as in, like, just as a caveat within the argument?
No, you can't bring up your TV shows.
Okay. I like your rules. They're tough. They're there. I like your rules. I like your rules, Vince.
Okay. So with that wheel out of the way, let's spin our wheel. I wasn't prepared. I have to actually get the wheel up.
Got the limber up. Let me do some practices. Your idea shit. Your idea shit. Your idea shit. I'm good. I'm ready to go.
I would like to see you debate mine, to be honest.
I'm interested to see, because obviously, like, Vince has chosen the topic here, so he knows all of our choices. But
yeah,
like Adam and I, we don't know any of the others. So I'm interested to see what you guys have chosen here. Mm-hmm. I know one of them. I don't know who's chosen it, but I know one of them clearly.
Okay.
Come on, stupid. I hate this app. It's the worst.
Don't change your answer now, Vince. I know you're panicking. Don't change your answer, Vince. He's looking. He's now on IMDb going, "Give me a film series. Give me a film series. Give me a film series."
All right, Adam. You're first.
Am I first?
Oh.
You are first. You want to talk shit? You're first. Let's go.
You know what? It's gonna be boring for the audience because they're gonna watch mine, then turn off. Like, guys, I'm wearing the t-shirt. Like, you can't see it because it's black, but there, I've got the shield.
I knew it.
It's the MCU. Like, you might talk to me. You're gonna come and argue, saying, "Oh, he's pandering to the masses." I'm not pandering to the masses.
Always.
And no, not at all. Your question was, what is the greatest film franchise of all times? Mm-hmm. It's only one answer, the MCU. The amount of films that has the quality that it does has never been done before. Name another franchise that has as many films that are all as good as they are, even the worst ones. Like, we can all say that 4-2 wasn't a great film. Like, but it's one of the very few in a massive franchise of films. The 2 best-selling films of all time Endgame, Infinity War. No franchise is built to that point. Like as well as that, you can name any franchise in the world. You could come out with James Bond. You could come out with Batman, the DCU. Okay, you're not going to come out with the DCU. Like you're not going to come out with any of these. There's nothing that can beat Marvel and the MCU. From starting with Iron Man, like Iron Man at that very beginning, and working your way through and introducing all these characters to that point when you're watching Endgame. And we're long enough in now, so if you haven't seen it, pause the video now. Like, and he is stood there, and you hear on your left, Cap, and all these rings open up, and it's the first time I have been to the cinema where people audibly gasped and cheered, because it doesn't happen in England. It might happen around the world. It does not happen in England because we are polite in the cinema, like, and we don't ruin it for other people. But people were cheering. There was people crying when things happened, and there was people cheering, and it was a film that people wanted to talk about and people wanted to enjoy. And that is the one film, but it's the only reason that film was good was because of everything that came before it. Pinnacle moments in cinema, Black Panther, like an amazing moment in cinema. What an amazing story and an amazing cast, and all of the films all the way through and if you watch them in timeline order, they all make sense. Like, films that Captain Marvel is one of the first films in the timeline order, but it makes sense. And there's nods to everything all the way through. Even films that shouldn't work to the normal comic book fan, like maybe Doctor Strange, like work. And then that moment when they bring Spider-Man into the MCU, we're now potentially at a point when X-Men can come into the MCU. Like, or even the Fantastic Four, if they try and ruin that again, can come into the MCU. The MCU is just building, and it's not slowing down. The next stage of films all look just as good. There is no franchise in the world, nothing that either of you can name that has the pedigree of the MCU, or the length of films that the MCU has, and that has had as many big iconic moments as the MCU. No franchise in the world. I don't need more time.
Wrong.
Absolutely.
Not a chance.
Terry, do you want to go first on this? Do you want to rip them apart?
You don't dare
first?
to, Vince.
Oh, I dare to.
Am I just kind of answering that terrible argument?
You got to try and rip into the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there's a few kind of weak points. There's more than a few weak points. Let's be honest.
Name the weak points.
When you mentioned Thor sure, Incredible Hulk. Yeah, even the first the first few films in a lot of the franchise, like Iron Man 2, Thor, these are all serviceable films. They're okay, you know. There's some great ones in there, absolutely. You mentioned the iconic parts of Infinity War and Endgame and stuff like that. But then there's a lot of stuff in there which is just like, yeah, that was all right, that was good, like great, brilliant, filling out a bigger story than the actual contained film. But a lot of them there are just like the same formula. You set up the hero, there's a middle act, and then we get the third boring CGI fight in every film, and your brain just turns off. It's like, okay, we just got to see this through to the end, to see the end credits trailer for the next one. You know, just kind of going through the motions here. You know, we're kind of, okay, we're building up to this big film. I'm looking forward to this in 10 years. But my point is, look, I'll get to it when I get to my argument, but yeah, I'll give it to you. Marvel franchise, great film franchise, but did it land as many iconic moments as some other franchises out there? I think not. There's a few, but I don't think that it's full as you think throughout as important moments. Yeah. But I'll get to that. But Vince, I'll let you go.
Just before you go in, Vince, just let me just have a little rebuttal to Terry. Sorry. Just a little rebuttal. In modern cinema, there is nothing that has had more moments than the MCU. And I know you said we can't talk about TVs, and that's fine. But look what they're doing now is incredible. Like, they're changing the game again. The MCU has changed the way that we do cinema. End credit scenes happened the odd time in other films. But the MCU made it now where films, everyone kind of goes, is there a post-credit scene at the end of this film? Even if it's not a Marvel film. the cameos of Stan Lee all the way through. All of those amazing moments that now, when people play the games of the MCU, they're waiting for the Stan Lee cameo. And you're trying to spot it in the films. And the actors that have been there and created a career from the MCU. Like, and you look at how, yeah, you talk about Thor and how he had a rocky second bit. But the beauty of Marvel is they can have a bad second film and then come back in the third film and hit you with Thor Ragnarok, one of the greatest films in the MCU. You'd say that Avengers 2 is the weakest of the Avengers movies. Age of Ultron is probably the weakest of the Avengers films. But then they come back with Infinity War, Endgame. Like,
are you going to defend Iron Man 3, though?
I like Iron Man 3. I genuinely like Iron Man 3. I don't think it's a terrible film. I prefer Iron Man 3 to Iron Man 2. Because I like the bit with the what was it called?
Exactly. So you see how much he likes Iron Man 3.
Was he called the Mandalorian? What was he called?
The Mandarin.
The Mandarin. Sorry, the Mandarin. Like that. My mistake that I got a character on, because there's so many in the MCU. They've made so many characters.
So many.
Listen, you can argue all you want, but it is you're witnessing one of the greatest moments in cinema. Like, and we are lucky to be alive in it. And there are other good franchises, but you're on about films that have a bad film. Most franchises have a bad film, but the difference is that their ratio is a lot lower because they only make 4 of them or 5 of them. So if they have one bad film, it's a 1/5 of their films. MCU make a bad film, it's like a 12th. Like, so their numbers, they're still way in the positives for their films. Anyway,
you throw enough shit at the wall, some will stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's your problem, Adam.
Vince, hit me with your argument so I can tell you how you're wrong. Let's go.
Yeah, you can have 1 in 12 films be bad, but the problem is you have to have those 12 films. You want to talk about these big iconic moments. What about the 8 films that lead up to that point? What about it's just so massive that you can't sit down and watch Infinity War and Endgame without having watched the other 18 films before it. That's
a sign of a good, and that is no, it's not messy. It's a sign of having proper build up to a film that you wouldn't go in and play. Like most times when we're playing a game franchise and there's a new one being released, you play through the older ones, like a lot of the time, because
sometimes you have to.
But sometimes you have to, but sometimes you want to. And I it's a pleasure to watch the MCU.
I think what Vince is getting at is saying, yeah, you've got this one cohesive, consistent story, but how many of those huge amounts of films, how many of those are 10 out of 10s? How many of those are 5-star films, like up there with the best films ever made? How many of them?
Right.
Probably 10 out of 10 films. I think it's almost impossible to have a 10 out of 10 film. But
yeah, okay. Let's say we're listing the greatest films ever made. How many of those are in there?
I would say if you're looking at the top 100 films, I would say 10 of them could be Marvel films.
10, really? Oh, that's
pushing
it. That's pushing it.
I would say, like, I'm not going to sit here and list them all because you guys have got your things to do. But obviously, Infinity War and Endgame would be in there. The first Avengers would be in there. I think Iron Man 1 would be in there because it started all off. I would think Thor Ragnarok would be in there. Doctor Strange would be in there. I'd say Black Panther would be in there.
I would not put Black Panther, Doctor Strange, the first
Doctor Strange. No.
Doctor Strange is actually my favorite film in the MCU. So I really like that film because I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. So maybe I'm biased on that one, but it got great reviews and it was a linchpin for the series. It created a lot of the moments going forward was through Doctor Strange, and I really like that. And I like more of that side of it. But that's fine. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Black Panther definitely is. It was a game changer for the MCU, and it was incredible. I think from the design to the music to the casting was all perfect. So I think that is a big one. I like the funnier films. I like Ant-Man as well. I thought that was a good film. I wouldn't say it's world class, but there was nothing wrong with those films. I thought it was really well how they brought Ant-Man in and actually made it a genuine character. That was always the worry. Look what they've done for Scarlet Witch. like taking Scarlet Witch, which in Infinity War, not Infinity War, sorry, Age of Ultron.
You're about to get disqualified because you're using TV shows again. Damn it!
Yeah,
I'm not.
But I want to use one of Adam's quotes on the box set of the whole set of the MCU, and just like, yeah, there's nothing. There's no, they're not really bad.
Not really bad.
Yeah, but I've also said some of 10 of them are in probably the top 100 greatest films of all time.
But the rest, they're not bad.
Out of a series of so many, to have most of them being, they're not bad, and the rest of them are really good, is a very good thing. I guarantee whatever series you have, whichever ones you've picked, there's a bad film in there. But anyway, that's my time for now. Let's move on. Vince, who's next?
Who is next? Let's see. Okay.
Drum roll.
I'm going next.
Vince. I'm looking forward to finding out what this is. Yeah.
Oh, my poor sweet children. Adam, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. There's only one film franchise out there that has probably the best moments in cinema of all time. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present to you today The Lord of the Rings.
I knew it.
Let's fucking
boring.
Go, boys. The Lord of the Rings. Who doesn't love The Lord of the Rings? Who doesn't love to watch? Yeah, you say that now, but who had my back when we were talking on the news about a BioWare Lord of the Rings game, huh?
I think it'd be a good game. Can't be worse than the films.
Oh, the films are amazing.
Walking simulator.
Let's see here. 4 Academy Awards for The Fellowship, 2 Academy Awards
he's bringing out the
Two
awards.
Towers, and 11 Academy Awards for Return of the King. Come on now, boys. You want to talk about, Marvel movies are good 10 out of 10. There's like a handful of them. All 3 Lord of the Ring movies are 10 out of 10s. Come on. I mean, what is there to say about the Lord of the Rings? What is there to say? It's high fantasy at its best. It's the pinnacle of fantasy. Not just the theatrical editions, the extended editions as well. You want a little bit more of the Lord of the Rings? Because people did. We got the extended editions. These movies are fantastic. Like, you can't not sit down and watch all 3 movies back to back. You can try, but you can't. I've done it on multiple occasions. My wife didn't even like The Lord of the Rings before we were together. Now, we watch them almost yearly. These movies are fucking fantastic.
It takes about a year to watch them. They're so long and boring.
And how long does it take to watch the MCU? Probably 3 times as long to watch 3 Lord of the Rings movies. Come on now. You can't talk about length.
He's got you there. He's got you.
Set up like 5 movies before you watch someone's solo movie.
This is a payoff.
Oh, there is a payoff. Come on now. Lord of the Rings probably has some of the best payoffs. All right.
Sorry, I'll let you. I'm interrupting. I'll let you finish anyway before I rip
You will.
Continue. Sorry.
Finish. And I want to finish on a quote. Okay? One of the best quotes in the series. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But is not this day, an hour of wolves and shattered shield, when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. Come on. Do you not get chills during that scene when Aragorn looks back, whispers, "For Frodo," and they all charge at the armies of Mordor? Like, seriously. That one of the best cinematic moments in history. We also have Helm's Deep in the Two Towers. You cannot watch that scene. And now in 4K, that scene alone is worth it. It's fantastic. The Balrog fight in Fellowship. Come on. You shall not pass. Oh, so good. Some of the most quotable movie franchises of all time. Can you top that, Adam? Can you?
Well, yeah. Like, first of all Lord of the Rings is good for is memes. Like it's become just
does make some good memes.
It's become a meme movie. First of all, let's break down some of the very obvious things wrong with Lord of the Rings. 1, too much walking straight away. Too much walking. 2,
you had to come with the walking. 2, didn't you? You had to come with the walking.
No, I've got a lot to come with. 2,
So did everyone else.
They hold your hand like you're a 4-year-old. Like all the way through the film, these people are good, these people are bad. Giant spiders, they're scary. Like there's no subtlety to anything. It's all in your face going, we're good because we speak with like a Devon accent. We're bad because we speak posher. Like it's just a very, like it's just too, there's no character development properly. You look at Frodo. He goes from being this nice, simple little hobbit to a dick. And it's in a few minutes, but it's okay because the ring made him do it. Like, there's no subtlety to it. He went from nice, dick. Like, there's no subtlety to it. You look at
what movie did you watch?
What's it called? What's the elf called? Legolas and Gimli. Gimli's the dwarf, yeah.
You can remember their names, but you can't remember the Mandarin. Whose film franchise is more memorable?
There's a lot more. Let me finish. They go from not liking each other, really not liking each other, to best friends in about 2 minutes. Like then, let's talk about the names. So inconsistent with the names that you've got all these really impressive names like Gandalf and Gimli. Like, and then it's just like Sam. Like it just gave up partway through, and then it was only ever good for its. Don't get me wrong. The second film, the Towers. What was that one called?
The Two Towers.
The Two Towers, the fight at Helm's Deep, at the time, incredible CGI. Incredible, because obviously a lot of it wasn't CGI at first. He had a lot of characters. I think it's got the record for the most costumes made for a film, for extras and stuff like that. And it deserved all of its visual awards. Because let's face it, there's a lot of panning shots. Like a lot of visual panning shots filling a lot of this time. And then you talk about the way they talk to each other. It is so on the nose. I am happy. I am sad. We've got to keep going. And it's pathetic. And you look at the ending with these fucking eagles. You talk about payoffs. You watch the MCU and you have to sit through a lot of films, all the way through, but you get that payoff of everyone coming through the portals, all of these people from past films all coming back on your left cap, like, which is such an iconic moment. All you get in Lord of the Rings is some eagles, a bit of confusion, and they sail away on a boat. Are they dead? Are they going somewhere? If you've not read the books, you don't have a fucking clue. Like a terrible end to a terrible trilogy that only won awards because of what it was going up against.
Okay.
Like,
my internet hated your argument so much that it cut out on me.
No, your internet wanted to save you from the pain of that's what it was. Terry, I know you like Lord of the Rings, but please rip into it.
I mean,
tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do like Lord of the Rings, but come on, Vince. This isn't the best movie franchise. Like you're talking about 3 films, and you're specifically leaving out another trilogy, and I can understand why. Like,
where's the Hobbit films? They're not a franchise.
Because
all right.
That went downhill quite fast as it moved towards the trilogy. As much as I like them in for certain ways, it's just I just don't think you've got as much there as a franchise. If you're arguing a trilogy, I'll be inclined to agree with you. But as an actual franchise, I don't know if I do. And there's holes in what you're saying. Like I don't know, like Frodo himself. I don't know if I actually, as a leading character, as the main character in that trilogy, doesn't hold up. I just don't think he's a likable character when you compare him to someone like Bilbo or something like that. I just don't think that. Adam kind of mentioned about the names. Like it can get bloody confusing, like Arwen and Eowyn, and it's like, okay, who are we talking about right now? What's going on? Where am I? It's just like, I don't know. It's
Saruman.
It's just come on,
you
guys.
know the names. But
Well, you know the names.
I couldn't tell you which one's which.
Yeah. And it's right. Adam's right. There's no subtlety between the good and the evil. Like if you compared it to something like Game of Thrones, where it's a lot of grey and a lot of kind of different families and backstabbing, and you don't know where you stand. Where it's very much just like old school, good and evil, which is fine. But it's just like, come on. We've moved past that. We've moved past it. Come on.
It's just so over the top, and the jokes are predictable, and it's so cheesy. Like. It's so cheesy, and Like,
I'm sorry, are you talking about the MCU or are you talking about Lord of the Rings? I'm confused.
No, Lord of the Rings. Like, who the third film when the battle in Return of the King, and I don't know the character's name, and I'm probably going to butcher it, probably get it a bit wrong. But if you know your films, you know what I mean. Where a woman's about to be killed, and then she stops him and yells, "I am no man," like, or something stupid like that, and it's just such a terrible line. And there's so many times where they're doing these big speeches, like you say, and it's just blah 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 blah. This means nothing. Blah 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 blah. Cue string music. Blah 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 blah. Like, oh no, Vince.
No,
I love you. I love your
you
opinions.
Don't get chills.
This, no.
During that speech.
This isn't just for the debate, and I mean this sincerely. I've had this conversation with family when they've said over the lockdown, they're like, "Do you want to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy?" I was like, "I'd rather stick pins in my eyes." Like, I'd love to play a Lord of the Rings game because I can speed it up. Like, there's less walking. I can do actual meaningful things, and I can skip dialogue if it's anything like the films. Tolkien was on a lot of drugs, and whoever made this film and decided clearly had shares in a helicopter company for all this panning shots that there are over hills. Like, it's only good for the memes. It's only good for the memes. Anyway, Terry, tell us why you've well, I'm going to guess what Terry's picked. I'm going to guess that he's picked.
You can probably get it right.
James Bond.
Oh wow!
You are wrong. You are wrong.
No?
And you are both wrong. You are both wrong in your choices. Because how can you go for anything other than the greatest movie franchise of all time, which is Star Wars? Star Wars, guys. Come on. Adam, you mentioned about like the MCU, and the only reason that, you know, there was that big payoff in Endgame is because of the build up and what was kind of came before it. Well, forget the Lord of the Rings movies and forget the MCU entirely. If there wasn't the Star Wars franchise, the Star Wars revolutionized cinema. Like, they revolutionized the blockbuster. The MCU films are what they are today because of Star Wars. The day that Imperial starship flew overhead after the opening credits and stuff, that's when cinema changed going forward, and it is what it is today. I mean, they literally took the best movie franchises and made a new genre of it. They took like the Japanese samurai films, the World War II war films, and blended that with sci-fi and created something new. Like, it just changed everything overnight. And it took the stuff that kind of Tolkien created in this kind of classic fables of mythology of good versus evil, and took that and applied it to this new genre where we created, come on guys, Jedis and Sith are the coolest characters ever created in film. Jedis and Sith. Are you telling me the lightsaber is not the best weapon ever invented? Like, it's like, tell me, come at me right now. I'll let you come in with a weapon better than the lightsaber. Come on, just what you got? You got Mjolnir. Nothing.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir is just a bloody. It looks like Timmy Mallet's old hammer. That's what it is.
Yeah, you've got a lightsaber that's very impractical.
Doesn't matter about practicality when it glows blue and green, does it? But no, guys, literally, I had to make. There's just too many things to mention for like Star Wars. I had to make a bunch of notes here. So, I mean, the stories are classic tales of a hero going up against like evil. You know, this kind of taps into everything that we're about. I mean, you got it again took what Tolkien done with creating a world, but then it applied that to a whole galaxy of worlds and races and politics and stuff like that. And then you've got like, I mean, the technology, like, it's just so iconic and unique. Like the ships, the X-Wing, the TIE Fighter, the Millennium Falcon. Like, these look like nothing that came before, and everything is inspired everything that's came after. I mean, they literally created the coolest looking character ever in Boba Fett that we're now getting something that's not a film that I can't mention out of, you know, and like made bounty hunters cool again after like we had them in the spaghetti westerns in the 60s. Yeah, like I say, the planets, you've got like the iconic looks of like Tatooine and Hoth and Dagobah and Mustafar. Like, these are all places that kind of stick in your mind. And then I can not even mention any of that. I kind of just go with the score, like John Williams' score. The soundtrack in the Star Wars films is just so iconic. Everyone knows, even if you've never watched a Star Wars film, you know the Star Wars score. But I know what you're going to throw at me. You're going to go and start hitting me with the prequels and stuff like that. I knew you were going to do that. So I was going to take a little tip from B Rabbit and 8 Mile and just kind of throw it out there myself. So you got nothing against me. So yeah, the prequels, you know what? Too much green screens in them. Why did they do that? Sort it out, right? They didn't have to do that. Bad dialogue. I'll give you that. Yeah. Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. Attack of the Clones as a whole, whatever. Yeah. I do live in a trailer with my mum. And Cheddar Bob shot himself in the foot. Oh no, it's a different film.
Okay,
but my point is, yeah, they had bad moments, but the prequels also gave us a load of great things. Really good lightsaber fights. Really good lightsaber fights. Let's not forget, lightsaber fights were they were okay in the original films. They were good. They were emotional, but they were not the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon against Darth Maul scene in Duel of the Fates, which is still the best lightsaber and one of the best fight scenes in any film. They gave us Darth Maul, for God's sake. Darth Maul is like one of the coolest characters ever. The pod racing scene, the planet of Coruscant. The planet of Coruscant which is used so much now in the Star Wars films. We didn't even see anything about that. That the prequels gave us that. How the Jedi Council and how they came to work and all that kind of stuff, which is all bled into stuff outside of the films, which I'm not allowed to mention now. Something we had really cool last year.
Move.
You know, and again, going back to the score, some of the best soundtrack from Star Wars, some of the best of John Williams' work came from the prequels. The Duel of Fates, I would argue, is his best work ever. Yeah, and if we didn't have the prequels and if we didn't have the recently released sequels, we wouldn't have some of the other amazing content which is coming out of those combined with the original films. But my point is that as a franchise, you just can't compete with what Star Wars is and how it has infinite amount of creativity for new storytellers and new films coming out, and we're just going to keep getting more films. And I'm sorry.
Can I? Okay.
They don't hold up to that.
Yeah. Okay. Vince, am I allowed to just pop in here before you rip him apart?
Dropping my lightsaber.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I've just got a few things. I think I wrote my points as we were going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 points to make. I'll make them quick. First of all, you have the audacity to come to me about CGI fights when 3 of your 9 films highly CGI fights, the prequels, and in fact most of the newer trilogy is a lot of CGI. Like you come to me, the MCU, about the fights at the end of the CGI. First of all, so don't come at me with CGI when you're picking Star Wars, which got ripped apart for its CGI for the prequels. Let's know your place on that one. 2, you've got 9 main films. If we're not, well, I suppose you've got the spin-offs as well, but you've got 9 core films, yeah, that are Star Wars films. How many of them are great?
There's more than 9. You're talking about 9.
Three
episode 1 to 9. Then you've got Rogue One, amazing
Rogue
film.
One, and you've got
Solo, which is a decent film, as good as any good film from the MCU. And
okay. So let's go with your 11. How many of them are great films?
I would argue at least half of them, and 3 of them are just iconic, and 3 of them are in the stratosphere of the greatest films ever made.
The original 3.
The original 3, yeah.
Which they should have stopped at, and everything since then has been a poor imitation of.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This is the thing. MCU has got better as it's gone on. It has learned and adapted. You started strong, and I will give you your dues.
Well, it's not hard when you're starting with Incredible Hulk, is it? Let's be honest.
Star Wars, it gave you your... First of all, Incredible Hulk wasn't the first in the MCU.
Well, they were released within like a month of each other. Come on, let's not split hairs right now.
The original. But anyway, you can't have such a strong start, and you did. Star Wars, where it gets its dues. Yeah, it changed cinema. Those first 3 films were incredible pieces of storytelling. And then came the money grab. like where he just bashed it out, and then George Lucas kept adding shit to it, and he just put all these ingredients into a pot and just made a mess. And then they tried to fix it when obviously he came with the news direction, and the films aren't as good as the originals and never going to be, because those originals were so good. But it doesn't matter for a franchise. The franchise is tainted now. The only thing, and I know we're not allowed to mention it, the only thing saving Star Wars right now is its TV, is what I personally think. The Mandalorian was fantastic. That's all I'm saying, but it doesn't count into this. The pod racing, I didn't think was that good, but whatever. They should have stopped at 3. They should have stopped at 3. It did everything right with those 3. And don't get me wrong, CGI wasn't great in those days, but it's never going to be. The era, you have to accept that. That's fine. But it has been ruined by terrible dialogue, terrible choices, clouded in moments of controversy, and they've ruined really good characters. Finn would have been a really good character, a really interesting character, and they just threw him in the back. Like they don't know what to do with half of the characters they've got in the franchise. Like, if this was about, if you could pick the original trilogy and have that just as your franchise, you would win it. But you were not going to win because you've got another 8 films. When
First
only
of all,
maybe 2
let me before Vince goes into this, I just want to argue a couple of points there. You mentioned about going for like a cash grab and stuff like that. We had like 10 to 15 year gaps between the trilogies. We weren't just pumping 2 films out a year like the bloody Marvel films are. We had a huge gap between the original trilogy. We didn't even think we was going to get other films. And then, yeah, we got the prequels. Not everyone loved them, but a new generation of people did love them as much as that generation did when they grew up watching them. We've had the sequels come out. You talk about CGI fights. I'm sorry, but yeah, the MCU films in their third act most of the time do have a CGI one-on-one fight, or where they're fighting some giant robot or something where your brain just turns off. Episode 7 of Star Wars is the film that has brought practical effects back. It has brought sets back. It has brought, what modern films are taking note from that, what they are doing, because films before that had turned into Michael Bay films, Transformers films, where literally you're just watching a whole mess of shit and your brain knows none of it's real, and you're just like, none of this means anything to me. We actually brought puppeteering back and animatronics and things like that, so you've got to give it that.
No, and I will. I do solely believe the sequels are better than the prequels, but that's not hard. If you're talking about franchises of films, the prequels aren't just disliked. They are ridiculed
by fans of the original trilogy. And you mark my words, the MCU films, once they get to the age that the Star Wars franchise is at, you'll be one of those bitter old men that's going, oh, these new Marvel films are a load of crap. I want your old original trilogy, and then you can't please anyone because no one wants the same thing.
I'm just saying, the original 3 hold up. Okay, like the original 3 Star Wars films hold up because of their story and the way they were. The prequels are never going to hold up. Like, they're terrible films. They're terribly written. They're terribly acted. Like, and I think they're terrible designs. The sequels are a lot better, but I don't think you can deny there was a lot of things that they did wrong with these sequels. People wanted good Star Wars films, and they're never going to please everyone because there's a lot of people that will only like the original 3. Yeah, that's the problem you have with Star Wars.
As fans is a different argument, and
exactly.
I've realized now that you're never ever going to please all Star Wars fans because everyone wants different things.
Exactly, and that's absolutely fine. But you must yourself admit that some of the things that they did in and I'm not talking about the Solo story because I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to comment on that either way. I'm not going to sit here and shit on something I've not seen. I liked Rogue One, but I thought it was a good film and I really liked it, but I didn't think it was amazing. But they missed the mark with some of the stuff in the sequels. They had a chance to make some really good films, and I think they made okay films, which had some good moments at times, but okay films. They weren't bad, but they weren't great. And I don't think you've got enough great films in there for it to be the best franchise of all times. But Vince, you've not spoken. Hit him with what you've got.
Well, you say the original trilogy has held up, but what I have to say to that is McClunky. Because let's be honest, George Lucas has just threw so much shit at that original trilogy. I mean, Jedi Rock, was that necessary? Was any of that necessary? Was the rocks in front of R2 necessary? Did it add anything? No. Other than some terrible CGI to really good or almost great films. But he just couldn't let it be. He couldn't let his fantastic fantasy movies be. He had to go in there and he had to add a bunch of garbage to it because he just didn't like what he originally created. And that's not to say that, I mean, I'm not going to do the prequels. The prequels have been overdone. The only other thing I'll say about the prequels is Flippy Yoda looked awful. Let's be real. Great lightsaber battles, not so much. The Darth Maul fight, obviously amazing. Duel of the Fates, great track. John Williams nailed it. But Flippy Yoda was just a flip too far for me. That was awful. And that's before we get into the sequel trilogy, which had good promise. Episode 7 was really good. That's one of the few films I've seen twice in the theater. It was great. Last Jedi doesn't get enough credit for being as good as it is. Yeah,
it's great. It's a great film. Great.
But Rey's training with Luke was fantastic. Luke made sense to be on that island because he exiled himself. There's some really good moments there. And then Rise of Skywalker happens. And they get a Sith dagger, which at some point Palpatine made to find the wrecked Death Star that was wrecked after he died. But he didn't really die. His clone came back. And that was only set up in the last movie. Snoke apparently was clones of him, which confirmed a fan theory. I don't know much about that. It's just so wildly inconsistent with Star Wars. Solo was okay. I put it there with a Marvel film, which does not say it's the best. Rogue One was actually on me right good. Now. Gareth Edwards nailed it with Rogue One. I think he knows that scale. The story's a little sloppy. But all in all, if I had to rank ours right now, it'd be me, Terry, Adam. Let's be honest. Because Terry, you do have some good films in there. There's some bad films in Star Wars, but you know what? I'd watch Solo or the prequels over Thor 2, or let's be honest, Iron Man 3, maybe even Doctor Strange. I'd probably
I did forget to mention, so just to interrupt, because Adam, to argue Adam's point, because you said there's not as many iconic points in the Star Wars films as the MCU, but come on, like there's so many, like there's so many quotable scenes, and the "I am your father," like there's just so many iconic moments in Star Wars. You could name any scene, and there's like one.
They're all in the first three films.
But there's enough in those first three films that
the only things you quote in the others are to take the piss out of them. I got the higher ground. Like
he did have the higher ground.
He did have the higher ground. What a stupid arc! What stupid! Oh my god! No. Like no. Like listen, we're all going to sit here. No one's going to turn around and go, if I'm putting these in order, I'm going to put Vince first, because we're not. I'm going to put myself first. But the fact of the matter is, we can sit here and argue all day. You have a walking simulator in Lord of the Rings, and you have an aged wrestler in Star Wars that just can't give up on that dream. It's like Goldberg, where he keeps coming back, or The Undertaker having one more round. The story's done. Let's let it lie for a little and then do something different. And you don't have to rehash and make a film actually relevant by bringing in Luke Skywalker into everything, which they've done in other things too, or bringing in Princess Leia, or every one of these films, bringing back someone from the original trilogy because the new characters aren't that good. Like, it's just, it's both of them. Like, I appreciate your opinions. Like, but you're so far behind the MCU. Far behind the MCU.
Not even close. Not even close.
That's because if you start watching the MCU, by the time you finish it, you'll have time to watch this podcast.
Well, I guess. The last thing that I will say about, and give some credit to Star Wars, I'm not giving any credit to Lord of the Rings because it's appalling. But
it's a shame.
You were right with
Lord of the Rings at least 3 times before you finish the MCU.
I couldn't watch Lord of the Rings 3 times in my life. There's not enough time. the one thing I will say about Star Wars, and I'll give it the credit because I'm a fair man. You were right. Star Wars walked so the MCU and the modern films could run, and what it did for cinema was incredible.
Show some respect.
Now Star Wars is limping, and the MCU is sprinting, and and that's the truth. Look at the best-selling films. Look at the cultural shift that is now in comic books and a resurgence of comic book films, and that is mainly because of two franchises: the MCU and Batman Begins and The Dark Knight were over on the DC. Well, it's not part of the DCU, but obviously DC. But what Marvel has done for comic books and superhero films and bleeding new life into it, the new Star Wars films have not done for Star Wars. Because it's the same people just wanting the original Star Wars, but in a modern environment. And let's face it, most of the new Star Wars films are the old films, just rehashed a little bit. Similar stories going through it. And Luke kissed his sister. We're just ignoring the incest that just pops up, because this is a fun little quirk to put in the film. Nah, come on. Anyway, we'll all say a nice thing about everybody else's film to end this off. So just to end on a nice note, I like the lightsaber in Star Wars. It's a good weapon. And in Lord of the Rings, I like Viggo Mortensen. I like Viggo Mortensen as actor. I think he's the best part of Lord of the Rings. I think as Aragorn, he was really good. But there you go. If you want to, Vince, you want to go next?
Sure. I mean, Star Wars is obviously really good. I do enjoy Star Wars, not so much as people's, but I like the majority of Star Wars films. They're really good. I used to love Star Wars. And the MCU, the MCU is good. Just good luck finding time to watch all of them in order.
I did it. I did it from I started Boxing Day and I finished 3 weeks ago. We watched 2 a week, 3 a week, something like that. It's a long thing, but
exactly.
It's good.
I watched these in a weekend.
Yeah, but that's all you do for the weekend. Come on then, Terry.
Help.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's not beat around the bush here. These are all great franchises. I think it's hard to argue against any of these, although we bloody well tried. But yeah, I mean, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If we were arguing trilogies, it's hard to really argue for me personally against Lord of the Rings because it's a bloody good trilogy. I mean, you'll all speak for themselves, but and the MCU, come on, yeah, it's the MCU. I love it, but I do feel like, yeah, I'm watching them through at the moment weekly with my wife, and I mean, it's been years since she watched the first two phases, and for every film I'm putting on a recap video before, and she just wait a minute, what? Pause it, what? So and I'm just that's so that's so sad. It's just I'm trying to piece together a puzzle. It's just so much. It's just Jesus.
A lot of films.
It is a lot of films. It's a lot of films.
Many films.
But no, yeah, obviously the highs are very high in the MCU and they're great. But no, I think they're all good arguments for sure.
Yeah, I think it is a fun debate. And guys, it's all a bit of fun. But leave your comments down below. And we'll also put a poll out on Twitter. This time, maybe with no pandering, Mr. Terry Jess, because I only pander because you pander.
Hey, it's not pandering. You're just trying to get people to vote,
Guys, come on. Please vote for my film franchise.
Well, I'm gonna be hitting up StarWars.com's Twitter. Get on this shit now, guys. Get on it.
Yeah.
Come on. Where's my Jedi at?
We shall see. But guys, what a good podcast this has been. I've enjoyed this one.
It's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been a laugh. This is our weekly podcast. It comes out every Sunday, so you guys can give it a good watch. Like I said, leave a comment down below about which you thought was the best trilogy, best franchise, and which you also thought maybe was your selection for the best franchise. Because there's quite a few to pick from. I did think you'd go for James Bond. I thought you'd pick James Bond over Star Wars because it's got more
I couldn't
films of a higher pedigree, I'd say.
What you think James Bond has?
Well, it's got some bad ones, but I think
James
Bond is a safer bet than Star Wars. You're opening up a big target.
I'm a big 007 fan, but there's a lot of crap in there. There's a lot of crap in that series. But there you go. I love it all anyway. It's all good.
Me and Vince will be back with you for the news on Monday. Also, next week, we might have a few surprises coming your way. So keep a lookout on social media and our YouTube channel. We're really excited about that. And yeah, we've been Shifty Crab. And thank you, Vince.
Thank you, Adam.
No worries. And thank you, Terry.
Thank you very much.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. And we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.